not been watching TV shows or Netflix. Okay. All right. Welcome to my recording of What Pride Hath Wrought, Part 1 at least. Finally getting around to recording this. Get around to getting through the end of the game. All right. Yes, I pretty much, yeah. I think I have everything else done. Everything else done except for I can't get those shards. What is that? That's nothing. I didn't turn in some books. And what pride hath wrought? Let's go. I love this beginning cutscene. Everybody marching to war. All my not needed power. Yes, I'm level 27.
With an Illuvion, Corypheus could cross into the Fade in the flesh.
Indeed, the Inquisitor can attest that these artifacts still work if one knows how to use them.
What happens when Corypheus enters the Fade?
Why, he will gain his heart's desire and take the power of a god. Or, and this is more likely, the lunatic will unleash forces that tear the world apart.
Finally get to see the
I won't
Morgan
allow
mod.
it. I can't.
Indeed, should Corypheus succeed, do not doubt you would be first to feel his holy wrath.
Pardon me, but does this mean everything's lost unless we get to the Illuvion before him?
Corypheus has a head start, no matter how quickly our army moves.
We should gather our allies before we march.
Can we wait for them? We should send our spies ahead to the Arbor Wilds.
Without support from the soldiers, you'd lose half of them.
Then what should we do?
For starters, we don't let Corypheus worry us to death. Imagine how embarrassing that would be. Josephine, have our allies send scouts to meet us in the wilds. Leliana, your fastest agents will join them. Together, we'll have enough spies to slow down Corypheus's army until Cullen's soldiers arrive.
Such confidence, but the Arbor Wilds are not so kind to visitors. Old elven magic lingers in those woods.
We'd be remiss to not take advantage of your knowledge, Lady Morgan. Please, lend us your expertise.
'Tis why I came here, although it is good to see its value recognized.
Any further instructions, Inquisitor?
The Inquisition began as a handful of soldiers. Thanks to you, we're now a force that will topple a self-proclaimed god. I could ask for no finer counsel, no better guidance.
I speak for all of us when I answer. We could ask for no finer cause.
We'll hound Corypheus in the wilds before he can find the temple or this Illuvion.
slightly confused myself. Yes, I have the romance card. No, it's not actually locked in. I don't have a romance trophy yet. Oh yeah, pre-rendered cutscene. So there's no mods.
Inquisitor,
How goes the battle, Captain?
the Red Templars fall beneath our blades, your worship. Commander Cullen says they're nearly finished.
What? Uh, well, that showed up for anybody else. I'm sorry about that. I hit Alt Tab instead of Alt. Screenshot, I guess.
Do only what you must. We need enough people for a celebration when we get back to Skyhold.
We will not fail you, my lady, no matter what comes. Andraste guide you, Inquisitor.
I wonder, is it Andraste your soldiers invoke during battle, or does a more immediate name come to their lips?
They show me respect, Morrigan. No one mistakes me for the Maker.
True, you are far more likely to come to their aid than a Chantry fable, but I digress. If your scouts report accurately, I believe these ruins to be the Temple of Mathal.
Which is?
A place of worship out of elven legend. If Corypheus seeks it, then the Illuvian he covets lies within. Let us hope we reach this temple before the entire forest is reduced to ash.
Alright. At 260 frames per second, yes. Thank you for joining me, anybody who is watching this. And Celine,
We
it
are
looks
aware
like
of the designs Corypheus has on our lives and people, Ambassador. You must excuse us, however, if our mind wanders to our beloved kingdom.
I pray our lay fares well in your absence.
It is our return to court that concerns us. Our dear cousin Gaspard warns it might align with poor weather.
It's ambitious to predict
What?
so far into the future. I'm confident your majesty can weather any storm.
We will see how this battle proceeds. Corypheus yet threatens to engulf us.
Are you talking about
We are
Gaspard?
gladdened to see you, Herald. This day will be recalled for ages. We are privileged to witness the fulfillment of the Inquisition's purpose.
The sight of our Orlesian allies risking their lives here humbles me.
Your worthy cause would have friends, even if we did not will it. Men and women of faith serve you. Their favor is no less than our own. Their service no less dear. With Orlais at your side, we will see you victorious against Corypheus. May you walk in the light.
Okay. I never know how to go through here. This way? Why am I stuck? I'm stuck.
Listen to how close the fighting's gotten. It will be worse ahead.
If the soldiers aren't careful with their fires, they'll do Corypheus's work for him.
Come on, let's go plug some assholes.
Do you sense the magic crackling? Something more powerful than the Red Templars stirs.
As the sun renews itself, so must the faithful renew their love of the Maker. Your penance shall be a joy, serving him with a heart of love unbound. Your struggle shall be a gift, for it redeems you in his sight.
The Inquisition brought you this struggle. Without men like you, it would fall.
The fight is justly entered, your worship. I was a pilgrim at Haven. I saw the wreckage and how you emerged to lead us. If the Maker bids me serve you, it will be done.
Why do you have a supply crate at
General is just down the hill in... Sir, he wishes to join you for the last push.
the Gaspard, blah blah blah. I definitely didn't do Gaspard on this playthrough. I did Celine Brella. I didn't do a truce. What am I doing? I don't need any of that. Random archers could have the mermaid bow quiver too.
The beasts are flanking to the east! We'll hold! We will hold!
Those were Grey Wardens. They must be the last of those enslaved at Adamant.
If they are forced to obey him, death will be a blessing.
For the Herald!
For the Inquisition!
This place is so pretty.
The monsters are running, your worship.
Screenshot here. Right in the waterfall. Come here.
For Haven and the Divine.
Background music. Come here, Zelda.
For the Inquisition!
There, ahead. An entire camp of Red Templars.
Watch out. They've posted archers on the wall.
don't want grumbling in the lower ranks that our Lord Crivius handpicked Grey Wardens. Yep. Our master is still sore he lost all but a few dozen enslaved Grey Wardens to the Inquisitor at Adamant.
Those elves. They didn't look Dalish.
It seems this temple of Mythal is not deserted after all.
Perhaps these creatures are the reason few return from the Arbor Wilds.
Supply cache really matters, and I can't fill up my whatever it's called. Let me check some. My microphone volume. I know it wasn't loud enough. Audio. Or I don't know, I can't get it between making sure it's loud enough or having it, me breathing in it when I'm not talking. Oh, let's see. The setting that's on the GeForce card that I'm using, and there's the other settings that's the other like main computer settings, I think, or whatever, but let's see how this turns out. So when I watch it back myself, I have to turn up to hear my own voice. The game sound is always too loud. The headphones, anyway, are not with headphones. Without the headphones, it's too loud on the game sound and too quiet on the mic. If I just want to play it off the TV to watch it myself. See that the background voices though aren't loud enough. I can only hear that by reading the that part isn't loud enough. Which is okay. Which would be sound effects. See, that's the problem. The background voices go through sound. I don't know. I mean, obviously I got the dialogue volume at 100 for actual dialogue, but the background sound isn't. So we're calling it fallen yet, right? Still gotta be another place. I think they're done. They're just... I'll trust I guide you. I heard Cripius ahead. Okay, where's that? Hey, what's this place? What is... Yes, I needed this place. We're not stopping to deal with these elven fanatics. Press forward, voice more guards. Find the Temple Mothal. Once I become the vessel, our master can finally claim the power waiting for him. No elves, no city, no nation will be a match for a living god. This is the day where we've bled for. The Inquisition and their legions are snapping at our heels, and you've sacrificed more than anyone should. But if we all fall here, the deaths of your brothers and sisters meant nothing. I won't let that happen, and none of you will either. The glory of the Elder One. The thing where you equip any extra potions, it doesn't matter what the supply catch doesn't fill them up. Don't need supply catch at all.
We'll hold these monsters, Inquisitor! The free mages stand with them!
Hunting, Inquisitor. We are keeping them at bay. Follow the river to the temple.
here to fight. Press on. Alright, first section done.
There. That must be the Temple of Mythal.
I hear fighting ahead.
Puppy, move.
Namilana Sabanale.
They still think to fight us, Master.
These are but remnants. They will not keep us from the Well of Sorrows.
Well of Sorrows?
Be honored. Witness death at the hands of a new god.
Get to see my mods on this part. Look at each Mythal statue in the background.
It cannot be!
Across the bridge, now!
I just never really noticed the size of that Mythal statue in the background.
At last, Mythal's sanctum. Let us proceed before Corypheus interferes.
You said Corypheus wanted an eluvian, but he mentioned a Well of Sorrows. Which is right?
I am uncertain of what he referred to.
here. I just got up to fill my drink. Zelda, come here.
Could they be the same? Could Illuvian translate into Well of Sorrows?
No. It seems an
Zelda.
Illuvian is not the prize Corypheus seeks.
There you are.
Yes, I was wrong. Does that please you? Whatever the Well of Sorrows might be, Corypheus seeks it, and thus you must keep it from his grasp.
Let's find this well before Corypheus's people do. I want to know how Corypheus returned to life. We saw him die.
And his life force passes on to any blighted creature, Darkspawn, or Grey Warden.
So, how many times do we need to kill him? It's a small number, right?
Strike Corypheus down, and he will rise anew.
We'll find a way to stop him once we're done here.
'Tis strange. Archdemons possess the same ability, and still the Grey Wardens are able to slay them. Yet Corypheus they locked away. Perhaps they knew he could do this, but not how. Yes?
More questions?
Are you certain Corypheus is using the power of the Blight to make himself immortal?
Perhaps you forget. I was in Ferelden during the Fifth Blight. I have seen a true archdemon rage. How Corypheus gained the power to send his soul into blighted bodies, that is the real question.
Will answering that question let us destroy Corypheus for good?
Perhaps. I would suggest first dealing with the well. If Corypheus obtains it, any chance of success could be lost.
Oh, I was wondering about that trophy.
Was worshipped as a goddess.
So one assumes.
Whether
What is a god but a being of immense power? The dread old gods were nothing more than dragons, after all. They rise as archdemons, and they die. Perhaps Mythal was a powerful elf, a ruler among her kind. History often plays storyteller with facts.
You admit lack of knowledge, and yet dismiss her so readily?
I do not dismiss her. I question her supposed divinity. One need not be a god to have value. Truthfully, I'm uncertain Mythal was even a single entity. The accounts are varied.
There are varied accounts of Mythal.
In most stories, Mythal rights wrongs while exercising motherly kindness. Let fly your voice to Mythal, deliverer of justice, protector of sun and earth alike. Other paint her as dark, vengeful. Pray to Mythal and she would smite your enemies, leaving them in agony.
More Dalish tales, I assume.
If you know more about this, Solus, speak.
The oldest accounts say Mythal was both of these, and neither. She was the mother, protective and fierce. That is all I will say. This is not a place to stir up old stories.
Whatever the truth, all accounts of Mythal end the same. Exiled to the beyond with her brethren.
What do you mean, exiled?
Tricked by the Dread Wolf, as all the elven gods were said to be, trapped in a land beyond the Fade. Many Dalish believe this is why the elves fell from grace, and their gods did not save them. Or perhaps they were simply rulers slain by Tevinter. Who can say?
Do you know what this part of the temple was used for?
The room we stand in is a vestibule, not the temple proper. To those who knew it, perhaps this ritual was little more than a polite knock at the gate. These customs must have been as familiar to ancient elves as bowing to a queen is to you or I.
I find it difficult to picture you curtsying to anyone.
Of we become so familiar you can predict my manners and customs now? Nothing is lost by indulging in the occasional civilized conduct, particularly when unexpected.
You've seen the elves here. They seem odd.
Indeed. Two things are possible. One, this is a group of Dalish separated from their brethren, cultists, fanatic in their desire to keep humans away. Two, these are elves descended from the ancients, having resided here since before the fall of Arlathan. The second appears unlikely, but if true, the implications are astounding.
If they keep records, it could change everything we thought we knew about history.
'Tis thrilling, no? To discover an era thought lost forever has possibly thrived in the shadows. We may, however, find these elves reluctant to part with their long-kept secrets.
Is the trophy you get from this part? I was thinking it was on Blighted Wings or some. Well, the explanation of the trophy is the one that says enlist a friend to help defeat the whatever. I remember if enlisting a friend is having Morgan drink the well, or having your own, or Mathal's guardian dragon as that's a friend. I don't know which is which for the trophy part of it.
It appears the temple's magics are still strong.
Ancient Elven. I can't make out much.
Atishol via Abalasan. It means enter the path of the Well of Sorrows.
There is something about knowledge, respectful or pure. Shiven. 'Tis all I can translate. That it mentions the well is a good omen.
Yes, Solus, share more of your knowledge.
We're out of luck unless one of those temple elves drops a lexicon.
Supplicants to Mathal would have first paid obeisance here. Following their path may aid entry.
Oh, no. This is bad. Rituals are bad. You can't want this.
If need be, unless you wish to turn back. Do not step any place you have stepped before.
What the heck?
There can be no vacillation. This is where petitioners walked the path of their gods.
It is where they paid fealty to the gods. I have seen it, in the Fade. Only the reverent were permitted to touch this ground, and only in solemn contemplation.
Let us see what awaits. I see the Red Temple. Ours have already encountered the Temple's guardians.
Anything good on them?
Rummage their corpses, by all means. The Temple of Mythal, constructed in an age when elves, not men, dominated this land. They believed Mythal a goddess of justice. Elves came here to request judgment, after they proved their worth.
Silence has reigned here for time beyond memory.
One of these wonderful cow things that ate the elves, so who knows what that means. That's one of the weirdest ones. For sure. Dalish use Harlan to mean traitor of one's kin, but the word does not appear in any Elven text before the Tower's Age. The ancient root word is related to Harlan, or opposition, and Helithan, or noble struggle. The Dalish call Ben-Harel a god of deception, but I posit a far more accurate translation would be god of rebellion. When what he rebelled against is a story lost to time. In Dalish legends, Ben-Harel steals away the other deities, seals the way out of love or trickery. If we understood more ancient Elven, we might find earlier versions of the Dreadwood story give more nuanced motivation beyond spite. From a treaty on pagan and heretical customs of Elven by Sunelin Tavara, University of Orlake, commissioned by
Why
Empress
would this be?
Celine.
Something wrong?
It depicts the Dread Wolf, Fen-Harel. In elven tales, he tricks their gods into sealing themselves away in the beyond for all time. Setting Fen-Harel in Methal's greater sanctum is as blasphemous as painting Andraste naked in the chantry.
My clan set statues of the Dread Wolf outside our camp. They're meant to frighten harmful spirits.
Perhaps. I thought the ancient elves above quaint superstitions.
For all your knowledge, Lady Morrigan, you cannot resist giving legend the weight of history. The wise do not mistake one for the other.
Pray tell, what meaning does our elven expert sense lurking behind this?
None we can discern by staring at it.
We can send for historians once peace is brought to this forest.
The inhabitants of this temple may not appreciate guests.
Yes?
You've seen the elves here. They seem odd.
Indeed. Two things are possible. One, this is a group of Dalish separated from their brethren, cultists, fanatic in their desire to keep humans away. Two, these are elves descended from the... The second appears unlikely, but if true, the implications are astounding.
Is that even possible? How?
With magic, anything is possible. Whatever the truth, the Guardians successfully kept the temple a secret. They must kill all who enter, even the Dalish. A more sensible question might be, why?
Do you know what this part of the temple was used for?
The room we stand in is a vestibule, not the temple proper. To those who knew it, perhaps this ritual was little more than a polite knock at the gate. These customs must have been as familiar to ancient elves as bowing to a queen is to you or I.
Let's continue.
As you wish.
Loud.
Hold them off!
Come on, we might catch them.
Hold a moment. While they rush ahead, this leads to our true destination. We should walk the petitioner's path as before.
An army fights and dies for us. The longer we tarry, the more soldiers we lose outside. Let's jump down and be done with this place.
In this case, I must agree with the witch. This is ancient ground, deserving of our respect.
You see the urgency? We cannot find the Well of Sorrows unprepared.
We don't know what's behind those doors. They might have a reason for going another way.
Had they the option, they would have proceeded. That must lead to their goal.
Their goal? Or yours?
There is a danger to the natural order. Legends walked Thedas once, things of might and wonder. Their passing has left us all the lesser. Corypheus would squander the ancient power of the well. I would have it restored.
What does that have to do with you are a romantic?
I wasn't expecting your answer to be so romantic.
Trust me, your surprise is matched only by my own. Mankind blunders through the world, crushing what it does not understand. Elves, dragons, magic. The list is endless. We must stem the tide, or be left with nothing more than the mundane. This I know to be true. I read more in the first chamber than I revealed. It said a great boon is given to those who use the Well of Sorrows, but at a terrible price.
What exactly did that altar say about the Well of Sorrows?
Like most elven writing, it was insufferably vague. The term I deciphered was Halam Shivanas, the sweet sacrifice of duty. It implies the loss of something personal for duty's sake, yet for those who served at this temple, a worthwhile trade.
Did you not trust me enough to tell me about this price when you read it?
I hoped to find more information. If I intended to cheat you, I would have feigned ignorance entirely. My priority is your cause, but if the opportunity arises to save this well, I am willing to pay the cost.
And gain what?
That is what we must discover. The rituals may point the way.
Goldie, you're not supposed to be there. Oh, Angel, sit down. Where do I go first? We have Andrew. Can't even see the mosaic. One day, Andrew grew tired of hunting mortal men and beasts. She began stalking the Forgotten Ones, wicked things that dwell in the abyss. Yet even a god should not linger there, and each time she entered the void, Andrew suffered longer and longer periods of madness after returning. Andrew put on armor made of the void, and all forgot her true face. She made weapons of darkness, and plague ate her lands. She howled things meant to be forgotten, and the other gods became fearful, and Rule would hunt them in turn. So Mythal spread rumors of a monstrous creature, and took the form of a great serpent waiting for Andrul at the base of a mountain. When Andrul came, Mythal sprang on the hunter. They fought for 3 days and nights, Andrul slashing deep gouges in the serpent's hide, but Mythal's magic sapped Andrul's strength and stole her knowledge of how to find the boy. After this, the great hunter could never make her way back to the abyss. and peace return. Translated Ancient Elven found in the Arbor Wilds.
What's this?
I believe we are in the presence of the elven goddess Ondrul, Lady of the Hunt.
Or a goddess of sacrifice, according to some.
Truly? I wonder if that is why Ondrul's patron animal is the hare. 'Tis said the Dalish invoke her before a chase, especially if they happen to be stalking humans.
Humans clash with elves all the time. There's blood on both sides.
I do not favor either. One hears things in an Orlesian court. Many Orlesian commanders consider skirmishes against the Dalish excellent sport.
Yes, Mr. Gaspard. Angel, what do you want? You always want your head covered. Nothing. And there's the wolf. There is the dread wolf. Alright, which way is this? This is the gates. How do I do this? Oh, wait a minute. Angel, I don't know what you're trying to do. You want to go?
Indeed. Time to proceed to the next ritual, I should think.
Lovely paintings. It was in here. Song to Falandine. People swore their lives to Falandine, who mastered that dark, that lies, whose shadows linger, whose shadows hunger, whose faithful sing, whose wings of death surround him, thick as night. Let Thanavir, Master Scryer, be our guides for shapeless worlds and airless skies. Song to Falandine, found in the Temple of Mythal.
Who is this meant to be?
Falandine, overseer of funerals and guide to the elven dead. I have heard the Dalish invoke him on their deathbed, or before quests from which they expect no return.
My clan's hunters asked for his blessing when we fought bandits. Our keeper taught them the prayers.
I do not believe they sing songs about Falandin's vanity.
Do you know any legends?
It is said Falandin's appetite for adulation leaks as wide as oceans. Mithal rallied the gods once the shadow of Falandin's hunger stretched across her own people. It was almost too late. Falandin only surrendered when his brethren bloodied him in his own temple.
No story is dramatic if the people in it act sensibly.
Yes. Most tales paint Falandin's stubbornness second only to his self-regard.
This one? Okay. First I did. This one is. not know.
The ritual is complete.
We are close. There is but one more path to follow.
Yeah. Siles. The god represents an aspect of their ancient civilization. June is least understood. Depictions stretch back to ancient Arlathan, but he appears most seldom. Of all their deities, Dalish legend says June is the god of crafts and building, but the oldest depictions have none of the tools the Dalish associate with him. June's role may have changed over time, or simply cannot be understood today. As the elves fell, ancient Tevinters spared little thought to preserving any Dalish culture. From a treatise of pagan and heretical Elven by Celine. Okay, where's the last one at? I miss Siles.
Everything is lit.
So can we go? Now?
Come, let us see if the doors have opened. Yes?
Alright, where's Siles at?
I want to discuss the well again.
Oh, I see. An opportunity to use the well may not even arise. I understand this. All I meant to suggest is that, if it does, I be the one to do so. I am willing to accept the consequences.
What if something happens to you? What about your son?
Kieran is a strong lad. He will thrive, with or without me.
Are you sure of that?
I am sure of precious little these days.
Okay, well, some of they have mosaics in the temple proper or whatever. Maybe.
Will you abandon these rituals, Inquisitor?
Excuse me?
Think carefully. There is no return once we leap after the Templars.
I did all the rituals. I don't think it's possible to suddenly abandon them.
Tis not what I expected. What was this chamber used for?
We're being watched.
Vernavis. You are unlike the other invaders. You have the features of those who call themselves Elven. You bear the mark of magic, which is familiar. How has this come to pass? What is your connection to those who first disturbed our slumber?
I don't understand the slumber bit. Who are you?
I am called Abelas. We are sentinels, tasked with standing against those who trespass on sacred ground. We wake only to fight, to preserve this place. Our numbers diminish with each invasion. I know what you seek. Like all who have come before you, you wish to drink from the Vira Belasan.
The place of the Way of Sorrows. He speaks of the well.
It is not for you. It is not for any of you.
Might also do investigate or special.
Solus, perhaps he'll listen to you.
What shall I say, Inquisitor? Shall I sway him from a millennia of service by virtue of our shared blood? He clings to all that remains of his world, because he lacks the power to restore it.
Our people have lost everything. They need you. They could learn from you.
Our people? The ones we see in the forest, shadows wearing Valisleen. You are not my people. And you have invaded our sanctum as readily as the Shemlin.
We knew this place was sacred. We've respected it as best we could.
I believe you. Trespassers you are, but you have followed rites of petition. You have shown respect to Mythal. If these others are enemies of yours, we will aid you in destroying them. When this is done, you shall be permitted to depart. And never return.
This is our goal, is it not? There is no reason to fight these sentinels.
Consider carefully. You must stop Corypheus, yes, but you may also need the well for your own.
I always, it only lets you ask half the questions, or I always do it in the wrong order. I have to start with investigate and not with special.
I accept your offer.
You will be guided to those you seek. As for the Vira Belasan, it shall not be despoiled, even if I must destroy it myself.
No!
Morgan! This would be our guide.
Mytholanast.
That's helpful, since Morrigan chased off on her own.
She seeks to protect the Well of Sorrows.
going? Which way? This way. Angel, you know how to jump. You don't have to whine at me.
This place looks untouched.
The entire temple must have looked like this long ago. How could the elves pour such devotion into this nonsense?
We can always ask our hosts.
The judgment of Mythal. Whenever one of the people wronged another, they would not call on Elgar'nan to avenge them, for his fury would destroy all it touched. Mythal saw the spring strife among the people and went to Elgar'nan. She offered to deliver justice when the people warred amongst themselves. Elgar'nan saw her wisdom and agreed, bidding all to abide by her verdicts. Some petitioned Mythal for justice and hid jealousy, accusing those who had done them no wrong. They saw their lies and struck them down. Mythal saw the lies and struck them down. Others petitioning Mythal for justice burned with wrath for imagined slights. She saw their weak hearts and struck them down. Those coming her with clear minds and open hearts were granted judgment and protection. Mythal harried their enemies until the end of their days. Angel, settle down!
I will leave that to you.
Okay. Through here. Elgar'nan, wrath and thunder, give us glory. Give us victory over the earth that shakes our cities. Strike the usurpers with your lightning. Burn the ground under your gaze. Bring winged death against those who throw down our work. Elgar'nan, help us tame the land. Song to Elgar'nan, author unknown. Dirthaman. Dirthaman has hands over his mouth. Twins in shadow, Dirtham and Valentine were linked in Dalish legend as inseparable twin brothers, shapers of scraps of elven stories from after the fall of Arlathans, transcribed into Twitter, and recently led to our fair university, referred to them as twin souls, but draw no family connection. The oldest stories never even name them directly, referring to Valentine is Dirthaman's shadow, and Dirthaman is Valentine's reflection. What little we understand implies that their bond was not romantic beyond even the strongest friendship. The legends of Dirthaman and Valentine may have been an allegory for complex elven relationships. We lack context to understand.
Henshra! Gilas Velathan!
I believe she would prefer that we remain close.
Just a quick look around.
And Gillinan kept herself apart from the people. She used her power to create animals none had ever seen. The skies teemed with her monsters, the land with her beasts. Andrew hunted them all. And after a year of killing, approached Gillinan with an offer. The gods would share their power with Gillinan, but only if she destroyed her creations, for they were too untamed to remain among the people. Gillinan agreed and asked for 3 days to undo what she had made. On the first day, she struck down the monsters of the air, except those she presented Andruel as a gift. On the second day, she drowned the giants of the sea, except those in deep waters, for they were too well wrought, and pride stopped her hand. On the third day she killed the beasts of the land except the Hala, whose grace she loved above all else. This is how Gillenane was made youngest of the gods. Which is funny, she actually made her creatures and monsters before she became a god. Okay, we have the unlocked elven writing, or whatever. Where's the path? Oh, something died and sent me loot. Delays. Okay, I didn't miss it. Hers is like a harp thingamajig. Celise, whose heart rivals Elganon's light, whose temples rival Methal's cities, whose breath rivals Andril's spear, whose skills rival June's craft, whose fire cannot be quenched. We give ourselves gladly to your service. Okay. And 3 of those.
The Sentinels are holding off the Red Templars.
Good for something, I guess, if they keep it up.
Abalas gave us his word.
Well, good for Dusty Butt.
Where are you at? Storms? An hour. I might actually finish this on. Or I'll run a little bit over. Oh well.
The Well of Sorrows.
So Mithal endures.
Andraste, guide us.
Like people who use webcam, I can't get a good shot.
Right on! An army of these bastards won't stop us! How will you get to the well, General? Tell me...
I can't get a shot of the Well of Sorrows, actually.
You tough bastards. A day's march, hours of fighting, and still fierce as dragons. The Chantry never knew what it was throwing away.
Samson, sir, watch out!
Inquisitor. You and those elf things don't know when to stop. You've hunted us half across Thedas. I should have guessed you'd follow us into this hole.
Your reserves are gone. So is Delirium. Isn't it time to stand down?
To enjoy the mercy you showed our brothers and sisters? No thanks. Corypheus chose me twice. First as his general, now as the vessel for the Well of Sorrows. You know what's inside the well? Wisdom. The kind of wisdom that can scour a world. I give it to Corypheus, that he can walk into the Fade without your precious anchor.
What's your part in it? What's a vessel?
What else empties a well? I'll carry its power to Corypheus. One more task entrusted to me. Being force-fed Chantry lyrium was good for something. This armor makes me a living fortress, mind and body. I won't forget a word of the well's knowledge. Corypheus will be unstoppable.
Once Corypheus is that powerful, you and your soldiers will just slow him down.
You dare say that to my face? After you butchered my men? You're no match for Corypheus. Even if you drink from the well, you'll never master its wisdom as he could. This is the strength the Chantry tried to bind. But it's a new world now, with a new god. So, Inquisitor, how will this go?
Power's all well and good, until it's taken away.
What did you do? What did you do? My armor is gone. Delirium! I need it! Kill them all!
Oh, crap. Battle's starting without me now. I accidentally hit Alt-Tab again.
What's your flanks?
What happened?
There we are. There's no... You will fall.
It's almost dead already, and I'm on a hard. Bye-bye, Sam.
Pay for that!
Well, I just got stuck. Well, I guess that's, whatever.
take it from Corypheus. You mustn't.
He's still breathing.
We can take him back to Skyhold for judgment.
You heard his parting words, Inquisitor. The elf seeks to destroy the Well of Sorrows.
So the sanctum is despoiled at last.
You would have destroyed the well yourself, given the chance.
To keep it from your grasping fingers. Better it be lost than bestowed upon the undeserving.
Fool. You'd let your people's legacy rot in the shadows.
Corypheus needed Samson to use the well. Without him, there's no vessel to claim it.
The moment we leave, he will send more forces to secure this place. The well clearly offers power, Inquisitor. If that power can be turned against Corypheus, can you afford not to use it?
Do you even know what you ask? As each servant of Mythal reached the end of their years, they would pass their knowledge on through this. All that we were, all that we knew, it would be lost forever.
It's better that knowledge remain in the well, never passed on. You'd rather destroy it.
There are other places, friend, other duties. Your people yet linger.
Elven such as you?
Yes, such as I.
You have shown respect to Mythal, and there is a righteousness in you I cannot deny. Is that your desire? To partake of the Vira Belasan as best you can? To fight your enemy?
Gifts like this don't come freely.
No boon of Mythal was ever granted without cost. The Vira Belasan may be too much for a mortal to comprehend. Brave it if you must. But know you this. You shall be bound forever to the will of Mythal.
Bound to a goddess who no longer exists, if she ever did.
Bound as we are bound. The choice is yours.
Are you leaving the temple?
Our duty ends. Why remain?
There is a place for you, Lethaline, if you seek it.
Perhaps there are places the Shemlin have not touched. It may be that only Uthenera awaits us. The blissful sleep of eternity never to awaken, if fate is kind.
Is it possible this Mythal might still exist?
Anything is possible.
Elven legend states that Mythal was tricked by Fen-Harel and banished to the Beyond.
Elven legend is wrong. The Dread Wolf had nothing to do with her murder.
Murder? I said nothing of...
She was slain, if a god truly can be. Betrayed by those who destroyed this temple. Yet the Vira Belasan remains. As do we. That is something.
Thank you for this gift, Abelas.
Do not thank me yet, Shemlin.
Malas Amalin Nahalam Abalas. His name, Abalas, means sorrow. I said, I hoped he finds a new name.
You'll note the intact Illuvian. I was correct on that count, at least.
Is it still a threat? Can Corypheus use it to travel the Fade?
You recall when I took you through my alluvion, I said each required a key? The well is the key. Take its power, and Mythal's last alluvion will be no more use to Corypheus than glass. I did not expect the well to feel so hungry.
Seems like that should be a concern.
Knowledge begets a hunger for more. I am willing to pay the price the well demands. I am also the best suited to use its knowledge in your service.
Or more likely to your own ends?
What would you know of my ends, elf?
You are a glutton drooling at the sight of a feast. You cannot be trusted.
Of those present, I alone have the training to make use of this. Let me drink, Inquisitor.
You alone? This is my heritage.
I have studied the oldest lore. I have delved into mysteries of which you could only dream. Can you honestly tell me there is anyone better suited?
What about you, Solus?
No. Do not ask me again.
I would be.
You lead the Inquisition. This is not a risk you can take. I have the best chance of making use of the well for everyone. Let me drink.
You're not concerned about the price? Bound forever to the will of Mythal?
Bound to the will of a dead god? It seems an empty warning. Perhaps a compulsion yet remains. Who can say otherwise? I do not fear it, even so.
I hate to say it, but Abelas's plan to destroy the well may be the best one.
What happens when Corypheus comes for you again? He is immortal. The wisdom of the well may include a way to destroy him. Give me this, and I fight at your side. I shall be your sword.
Thoughts?
She is right about only one thing. We should take the power which lies in that well.
If it is truly between you and her, then let her take the risk. Make her help us all.
It's called the Well of Sorrows. Sorrows? No one should go in the Well of Sorrows.
Enough deliberation. Give me your decision.
Looking at it, listening to it. That's not just knowledge from the ancient elven priests. It's their will.
How would you know such a thing?
That's what Abelas was telling us. The collective will of the priests puts anyone who drinks under a compulsion, a gas. Can't you feel it?
That would match the legends, but it does not tell us what the gas entails. I would still use the well, but you are right. We must be cautious.
If anyone is to use the well, it will be me.
So you will take what little knowledge you can understand and let the rest go to waste?
And who's to say it will go to waste?
I do. Perhaps it is better this way. Do as you will with the Well of Sorrows, Inquisitor. But be careful.
Why am I here? Corypheus. A Magister wishes to rip the veil open. I must learn how to stop him. If you can help me vanquish Corypheus, take whatever price you wish.
Inquisitor! Inquisitor!
Oh, look at my eyes.
How do you feel?
The extra glow on him.
The Illuvian! Through the mirror!
I couldn't see it before.
It is done.
Good. I managed to get this done in 2 hours. I'll be laying on the keyboard. Go straight to war table, right?
I'm pleased to report we won the battle, Inquisitor. When you went through that mirror, Corypheus and his archdemon fled the field. I'm not sure why.
What he wanted was no longer within the temple.
Perhaps. He spent so long trying to get into the temple, he probably couldn't have helped his forces by that point.
Then Corypheus is finished.
If he is wise, he will hide and rebuild his strength before he attacks again.
He will not.
He won't hide.
You hear it. The well speaks to you.
It's voices, whispering from so far away I can barely hear them.
If only one who understood such voices had used the well's power instead.
Then we'd have to rely on her interpretation of them, and whatever she chose to tell us.
Have I not been forthcoming enough for you, Spy Master? I told you what the well could have done, Inquisitor. You should be hearing shouts from the heavens, not whispers.
Then help me.
Oh, gosh.
Next. What did you mean?
The dragon isn't an archdemon. It's a dragon in which Corypheus is invested.
Stop it, stop it, stop it. I'm hitting the wrong button.
While the bodies is disrupted for a time, he can be killed.
That's no simple task. Corypheus alone is powerful, but where there's dragon...
There is a way. but I'll need Morrigan's help.
The voices from the well tell you that, do they? Very well, Inquisitor. Speak to me when you are ready to begin this plan of yours.
Are you certain of this?
We have no choice. If Corypheus comes here now...
I'll see to Skyhold's defenses in the meantime.
Alright, thank you everyone for watching this recording. Or stream, or whenever you choose to watch it, as it's always recorded on YouTube and stays there as far as I know forever. I have to do Soulless Romance. I have to speak to the temple. Go to the temple for the guardian dragon. Oh yeah. Go in to hunt. Go to meet Morgan and Mathal and kill Corypheus. That should be work for a 2-hour episode. Right, I'm actually going to kill the...
It comes swiftly, this moment that will be spoken of for ages. The day the Herald of Andraste
And
challenged the
everyone
Darkspawn
starts talking
and
as
thought
if it's
itself a god.
the end.
Defeat him, and you'll be more than a holy woman to the people. You'll enter legend.
If it's true, may the Maker judge me worthy of the honor.
And there is the modesty people respect. People joined the Inquisition after hearing you were blessed, but they've stayed because of how you lead. I wanted to tell you that I shared their sentiments, Inquisitor, and... well, I suppose I just did.
I hope you're not going anywhere after I stop Corypheus.
Far from it. Oh, if you'll have me, there's so much more the Inquisition can do. Farewell, my lady. When you face Corypheus, may you walk in the light.
Yeah, everybody starts acting like it's over. Did I get all the ones I have?
Inquisitor.
Do you have insight into the stories these tiles are supposed to depict?
Tell you what, you finish one, who better, right? A good dwarven.
I don't know where I'm supposed to find them in the codex yet.
So, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. We went to an ancient rune where you consumed a pool of elfiness, and then walked through a mirror, and wound up back here. Have I mentioned that the shit that happens to you is crazy? I don't want to think about this anymore. You want to discuss something normal?
I want to know more about...
I'll tell you what I can.
Oh.
What could the Templars want with it?
In Kirkwall, just having the Lyrium idol made Knight Commander Meredith impossibly strong. Before it turned her into a Lyrium statue, anyway. Maybe they thought the power was worth it, or maybe they didn't know the consequences.
What? There was 2 questions.
I think that's enough on Red...
Well, if you're not going to let me finish the questions, no wonder they're still there.
I want to know more about Red Lyrium.
I'll tell you what I can.
I've seen it infect people like a disease and turn them to lyrium. How can it do that?
That's a good question. To tell the truth, we don't really know what that shit can do to a person. And I don't want to find out.
I think that's enough on Red Lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject. I can spare some time. What do you need?
I read your...
That's a pretty common reaction.
Carry on.
If you've got questions, I'm your dwarf.
Can I ask you...
You want to talk about me? I'm
Thanks.
No problem.
Okay. Yeah, I had a few minutes so I could talk to them. So other than that, I want to go straight to Solas. I'm gonna first do it as a recording. Like that. It has purple in that spot anyway. Because of the mods, it puts purple right there. 3 spots of purple. That's kind of funny. Anyway, this is where I'm gonna start. Thank you all for joining me. Finish the Temple of Mythal in one whole episode. And finish up the other stuff in the next episode, and then I'll have Trespasser, which will take like 3 or 4 episodes. Alright. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you another time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe. This isn't a continuous project of mine. It's just I do this when I want to do it, and I get into watching a TV show, I end up not recording. So see you later. Goodbye.